Welcome back to week 4 of the podcast.
Welcome back to Hot and Dangerous. How are we doing?
Again.
Have you watched the other episodes?
Oh, well, you should.
What are we thinking?
We
Anywho, we
decided-
built a podcast studio.
Yeah. We did this weekend. If you follow us on our socials, we did a little part 1 vlog. We're still in the process of getting all like the fun little decorations in. But yeah, we
But if you have ideas, we should put a poll up or
oh my
something.
god, please, yes,
And you
give
can
us
like
your...
send us all the what do you want for Easter eggs in the
What do you
background?
want?
Because I mean, if you're gonna watch this,
Yeah, what do you want to look at? What do you want to look at other than our faces?
oh, we can show off my mug collection every week.
Oh my god, the mug collection that we were talking about. Jesse picked out the mug today. I didn't get to have my own pick of mug, but I'm still very, very excited for the pick.
I honestly just went with this was my coffee mug this morning. So and then yours was just the first one off the shelf because we were kind of we're filming this relatively late at night.
Yeah, which is the beauty of having our own studio is because now we get to do this whenever and we can do it whenever and in whatever circumstance. So yeah.
But so the feedback that I have been getting is that we need to introduce ourselves.
Okay.
So here was my thought though. Because that's like the worst thing on the first day of school when they're like, introduce yourself. And you're like, no.
Yeah.
So why don't I introduce you and you introduce me?
I would love that.
That way we don't have to introduce ourselves.
That's a great idea. I love it.
Okay. So I will go first.
Okay.
Because you're truly the mastermind behind this whole thing. This is Georgia. This is my baby sister. She is 21, a Cancer. She is in school for audio engineering.
Yeah.
And if I could sum you up in one sentence, it would be annoyingly capable at everything.
Aww.
Truly, there's nothing she can't do. Like, if she wants to draw, she's a great drawer. If she wants to sing, she's a great singer. If she wants to dance, girl is great at it. She truly, there's nothing you can't do. And she, trust me, she's made a career path out of almost everything. She has a dog named Nebula, who is a adorable, she's almost 2.
Oh my god, I think she's almost 4. No, she's almost 3.
Yeah. Anywho, she has a Nebby, and she's the brains behind this operation. She does all of the editing, probably most of the social media. And anyways, that's Georgia. Yeah. I think that was, I don't know. You let me know if that was a good enough introduction. I'll await your feedback.
Oh, well, that's a lot to follow up on, but thank you, Jesse. I love you, and you're my biggest hype person, and that was actually, I wanted to crawl out of my skin during that, but it's okay. I hate compliments. And that was just a slew. So, you know what? Get ready, big sister.
Oh, God.
This is Jessie Theriault, the woman, the myth, the legend. She is the smartest person I know, the hardest working person I know. She is 25 years of age. She's a rip snorting Aries. She is a legal assistant, legal extraordinaire. She has a degree in psychology, so I don't know why the heck she's doing this with me. She's probably like just psychoanalyzing me the whole time. But no, she's the best big sister a girl could ask for, and truly my leading light in all of life. She has a beautiful little French bulldog named Redacted because she's here with us today and I don't want her to go off of place.
True. Yeah. We can't call her over because Echo's favorite person is Georgia.
Yeah.
So...
No, she my twin'em for real.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, Jessie is a beautiful artist as well. She is like, Jessie hypes me up about like doing everything, but I who taught me how to do everything?
I definitely didn't teach you how to draw. I draw a mean stick figure.
Jesse, you can draw and paint. I've seen it. Don't even lie to me. Your calligraphy is gorgeous. And let me get this in. I was quiet during yours. She is the best community gatherer and just like truly is a nurturer at heart. Yeah, she's the best person I know. Like she is my like the truest form of my idol. Like I couldn't do all of this if I didn't have her with me. And that is why I am okay doing all of the behind the scenes work, because if I get an extra hour to talk with this busy gal a week, that's all I want. And that's all that I'm doing this for, truly. Is just,
I do make time to spend time with her.
She does. We do things outside, but we do. I
work 3 jobs.
Yeah, no, Jesse's a workaholic as well. You have been my guide in so many different aspects of my life, and this is just another aspect where you have really guided me, and I'm just
well, now that my head is too big to fill this shed.
Hey, that's a great segue.
Oh, it is a great segue.
Ooh.
Okay, so we are talking about the last couple weeks we've talked about relationships, we've talked about toxic relationships, we've talked about breakups, self-care, and I wanted to bring it back to, because I feel like any other person watching this is always like, ugh, another podcast where girls only talk about boys. Nah.
Well, you know what? We love those podcasts.
Don't
get us wrong. We're not.
And trust me, we will be.
We will have our fair share. Like, it's not going to go away.
But also, I want to like sneak in and give you like the big sister advice that was kind of the whole premise for this podcast.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about confidence. And confidence
What's wrong with being confident? Sorry, continue.
Shout out, Demi. And all the different aspects of confidence, not just the like how to post a good thirst trap, because Lord knows we love a good external validation.
Love it.
But confidence in yourself, confidence in your workplace, confidence in your friendships.
100%.
Confidence in all areas and aspects. So what does confidence mean for you personally? Like, what do you define confidence as?
I know you didn't mean to start off with a hard-hitting one, but that one's pretty hard-hitting, because confidence means so many things to me, and I've had a real journey with it. But for me, in this stage of my life right now, what confidence means to me is showing up as the version of myself that I truly want to be, and aligning all of my actions and my intentions around that person. And I think that's what brings me confidence, and that's what I view as confidence, is people and myself showing up as the highest version of themselves, the highest energy and frequency of themselves that is aligned and secure. I think that took me a long time to find, and I think it's so convoluted. Like, confidence means so many different things.
Oh my God, yeah.
That I think that was a really big mindset shift when I kind of understood that it's not just the way you look, and it's not just the way that people perceive you. It's more about your actions and intentions lining up. And I think that's where I truly found confidence, and I think that's what it means to me right now. How would you say you define confidence?
Well, first, I agree 100%. I think that confidence is always something that's going to ebb and flow, like anything in your life. It's going to be, something that you have more of or less of depending on what's going on in your life. But I found that what my confidence comes from, and like where it comes from, is that I think confidence is about, at the end of the day, do you like yourself?
Huge.
Do you want to be friends with you?
Yeah.
Do you like the person that you show up as?
Yeah.
Because not every day do we show up as the person that we are.
Yep.
But I think for the most part, that's kind of how I've been trying to define it is, do I like myself and the things that I offer to the world and my relationships and to myself?
Yes.
And I've found that that's because it can even tie in with some of like the external factors like looks and you know, being perceived by other people, because I think like we're obviously going to talk about this a lot over the episode, but we both struggled with self-image and
Huge.
Like body dysmorphia and
Huge.
some of these really big issues that we've both been in therapy for, which
Yeah.
we think everybody should get therapy. Shout out to
Go
Lois.
get therapy. We love therapy.
Truly everybody should get therapy.
Yeah.
But and those are things that are rooted in a lot deeper dysfunction, but everybody deals with them to some extent.
Yep.
And I think that now that I'm getting older, I have stopped looking for what other people think looks good.
Yep.
I truly admire and look at people who are just enjoying themselves. Like, I love seeing someone put together an outfit that is just so eclectic, or even if it's not my style and it's not something like, let's be honest,
their style.
And they just are so authentically themselves that you just exude it, and you don't question that, like, that brings them joy.
Yeah. That was, I love that point. I love that point because time and time again, we had these speakers come in, like you have them in like high school, middle school, and they come in and they try and teach you what confidence is and what that, like, where that comes from. And again and again and again, they'd say, just be yourself. Just be yourself. And at that time, you're comparing yourself to so many different sources.
Yeah.
It, like your peers, online, you're comparing yourself to a million and one different things, that comparison is the thief of joy, and you don't realize it's taking your joy away and taking that sense of self away until you do like yourself and you are yourself and you show up as the most authentic version of yourself, that you're like, oh my God, I feel like I could take over the world because I'm now confident because I'm just me. The only person you have to compare yourself is to yourself, if that makes sense.
Which it absolutely does, but I also, you know me, I'm a little bit I don't want to say pessimistic or cynical, but in reality, that's a load of crap. It like is. The just be yourself, like, well, how are you supposed to be yourself if you don't know who you are?
Huge. That's a big point. How
are you supposed to, and especially when you're younger, like growing up, like, and you're trying to figure out who you want to be and like what you really do value, because those values do come with age, like, and just life 100%. Experience. 100%. Because when you're 12 and all you have to experience is your close inner family, friends, and circle, like, you don't know who you are when faced with tragedy
as well. Can we touch on that? As well? Because I think that's a really good point. When you find what you value and what you hold
absolutely
close, that's where you actually find like being yourself. Yeah. It's because you want to, like, something that I really value is family. So I make time to see my family. I make time to help and to be involved in my siblings and my extended family's life, like our circle, because that means a lot to me, and that brings me a sense of self and a sense of security. And from there, I can pull confidence from there because I know I have people who have my back no matter what. Yeah. Right? Or like, what is something that you really value that brings you like a piece of yourself?
Well, I try and look at kind of circling back to like the who you are. When you're figuring that out, one of the most helpful things is, who do you look around you? Who do you want to be? Yeah. What do you want to be for other people, and how do you implement that in your life? And that was something that when I was really lost, I started looking around and looking at my friends, and like I've said before, I really, really pride myself in the circle that I'm around.
Yeah.
And I learn from every single person in my life. And something I looked around at was I love, like when I look at my friends.
So would you say you value like your community?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that like that's something that when I didn't like myself and I wasn't in the place that I could recognize those traits in me, I looked around me and I was like, okay, I want to be sunshine, or I want to, like if I look at Rosie and how hard she works and how like she makes connections wherever she goes, and like she genuinely is so warm and inviting and people really like being around her always. I want to be that.
Yeah.
And then like she is so calm and like just peaceful.
Ugh,
and genuinely cares. And like she is one of the people that will remember that you like. She sent me, I'm not a big Valentine's Day person.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I have no real affliction to it.
Yep.
But she loves Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And loves like the just being able to like show that you love your people and whatever. And I was like, I don't really care. And when I was in university one year, she sent me flowers and my favorite chips and like a bottle of wine and like, and was like, this is what this holiday means to me. Not just like the commercialized aspect of it, but the I'm thinking of you.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
And like, that's something that she really exudes, is like those like small but meaningful, like pause and stop moments. Like, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And that was something that I wanted to do. And like, I want to be for people in their life, like to show them that I see you.
Yeah. And
like, this is something that like I've picked something that means something. And so like to be intentional with my love and appreciation. And so I think that like, those are all things that I've come to value really deeply, but they didn't come from me. They came from the people around me. And that's something that I think is really important. If you are finding yourself lacking confidence and you're finding yourself like not knowing who you are or not knowing what you value, look around you. Who do you want to be?
Can Miss Psychology, can we talk about this? So something we did that I thought was so incredibly powerful in our professional development class was we picked somebody in our inner circle, somebody that we respected and cared about and loved so much and looked up to. And we wrote a list. I chose Jessie.
Oh God.
I called her after this. But I chose Jessie, and our assignment was to, like in class, we wrote a list of 5 adjectives that truly describe what we admire most in the people that we love the most. So after this, our instructor got up and he said, okay, now there's a theory in psychology. I can't remember the actual name. You might have to like fill in for me, but there's a theory that the things we like most about the other people and the things we value the most in other people are things that we ourselves are actively trying to exude and are actively working on or showing up as. So he's like, read that list back to yourself and understand that those adjectives are somewhere within you, but you value them in somebody else, and it's like a reflection of self. I can't remember what the actual theory was, but it's like,
it's pretty broad. I couldn't give you like a.
It's like, I can't remember what the actual thing is.
I mean,
I'll put something in.
The general principle remains that it like you search for what you search in other people the qualities that you want to find in yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
that's exactly what I'm.
Beautiful. Exactly. It was like it's like that is such a big thing, and because. And I get that from you as well, is I love community. Like Jessie has I am so thankful to know all of Jessie's friends. I am immensely grateful for the community that I have been able
really
to just join because her friends it's just I'm their little sister as well. We the council, I'm the rookie. I'm the rookie for the council.
Yeah.
Like there's so many, like, it makes it's something that I value and look up to so much. And I think that now I'm just starting to find my group of friends and just starting to find that like huge community. But I still love, like, I don't ever want to like not have an in with your group of friends, because I love it.
Like, that's something that I really pride myself into, is that my friends are truly the people that if you matter to me, then you matter to them. And like the same goes for them. Like, the people in their life become part of my life. And that's something that I really have looked for, is that sense of loyalty and love. And it's like, okay, well, huge. I love you, and I know you're a good person, and I know that you choose good people. So obviously, why wouldn't I want this person in my life? I don't have to do the work to go and find them. Yeah. You already did it.
But yes, no, 100%. Friends are a huge confidence builder. And coming from somebody who didn't always have friends, I was a very lonely child, a hugely lonely. And I watched a lot of content like this and sat in my room with my hot glue gun and my like sock animals that I made as my friends. I had 1,000,001 stuffed animals because I didn't have friends, and it made me feel like I wasn't alone. And I had YouTube on all the time because I didn't have a lot of community. And I think
truly is. I think that like that's something I also kind of like when we were talking about starting this.
Yeah.
And I am not a crafted social media presence. No. I truly like something that with my self-image issues and things like that, I have stopped allowing myself to pick apart every single photo, video, recording, whatever. I have started looking for the joy.
Yeah. Yes.
And if I see a photo where I'm like, I can feel that moment, I'm going to post it, regardless of if I think I look cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's something about each piece of media that I share with my friends and family, or now the public.
Yeah.
The public, meaning mom and my 3 friends. That it's because it brings me some form of joy. And that was a big thing, was when I was at some of my lowest times, and like everybody goes through periods of loneliness and doubt and isolation. Yeah. And things like this really truly made me feel better. Yeah. I loved being a part of, like, there are still many, many creators that I follow and truly keep up with their lives, because it makes me feel like I am a part of their life. Yeah. Which
even if it's
a
like
very weird cognitive.
It's a huge weird concept, like 100%. But I think that, isn't that beautiful that we get to share in somebody else's.
But it also has built a lot of my style and my...
Huge!
Because it's hard to figure out, if you're not innately good at, quote-unquote, good at styling and fashion, or, like, looks or whatever, it's hard to realize how people are doing that.
Yeah.
Because you can look at a photo of a celebrity or an influencer or even just some of your really popular friends and be like, how do they look like that?
Yes. Yeah.
Like
100%.
Miss, you and your low-rise jeans. Nobody looks like that in low-rise jeans.
I just love the low-rise.
But truly, like, I digress. But those are things that, like, I really love. I found that I'm not a big dressy prince fashion person, but I love jewelry.
Yes.
And I love, like, stacking jewelry and being, and like Jaclyn Hill was a big part of that, is like, I love her style. Yeah. And everything. And like a lot of my style is emulated off of her, because she made me, like, every time, like, I saw her, she looked so pretty, and that's how I wanted to be perceived by the world. Yeah. And so I was able to emulate that through her. Yeah. And it truly, and now, like, it's something that, like, I found helps my confidence, is if I have my stack of rings on and, like, my cool necklaces and whatever, like that helps me feel confident.
100%. And it's bringing it back. It's online communities are the same. When you aren't in the position or aren't in the headspace or aren't in the place in your life to not be lonely or isolated in those places, those spaces are those people and those communities can be another point of reference for you to pull those things from.
Absolutely.
And it's the same as pulling those confidence and those things you want to mirror from your friends. And I think that's so beautiful, and I think that's so incredibly powerful. And if we could, like, if somebody is sitting at home and listening to this while they do their homework because they want a big sister to listen with, that is all I could hope for, and that's all that I.
And I also, because I would be the first person watching this and thinking like, oh well, that's not who they really are in person. Who cares?
Yeah. Yes. No.
If you connect with someone, if you connect with the version of themselves that they're giving you.
Yep.
And that helps you in some aspect of your life, what does it matter if it's a persona that they're putting on?
Yes. Yep.
The people in your life that you actually interact with and like are close to, that matters. Yes. Like who they actually are on the inside.
Yeah.
But take your inspiration from celebrities and or from influencers or from external forces and allow yourself to admire them. Be a fan.
Admire, but don't compare. Admire, but know when comparison is.
Absolutely.
That's a big thing as well, because if that is a version of themselves that is curated, then you have to remember that version is curated, and that version is not always how they're showing up in real life. So take it with a grain of salt and know that when you're comparing yourself to the best version of somebody else, that's not fair. And it's not fair to yourself to consume it that way. However, if you're consuming it in a healthy and loving and in admiration, then consume and be a freaking fan.
I would also say that ask yourself why what about that aspect of them are you admiring, or what about them, if you find yourself playing that comparison game, what is it that you're comparing?
Yes.
Is it, are you comparing the fact that they have money?
Yeah.
To go get their hair done every 3 weeks, or like be able to pay for professional makeup artists, or
I think about these things
like
all the time.
High-end clothes. Like what are you really
comparing,
envying about them, or like what do you find yourself lacking about? Like what is it about them that you find yourself lacking? Because I guarantee if you really boil it down, there's something else that you're missing. It's not going to be that, oh, I don't look good in those jeans, or I don't walk nicely, or whatever. It's going to be that maybe you don't feel strong, or you don't feel elegant, or you don't like, and these are all things that at the end of the day, when you really strip away all of the other things, you can work on that. Like there are different ways to feel all of those emotions and feel all of those qualities. Like one of the major points of lacking of confidence is something that in my body, which I know that obviously this is going to be a big thing for so many people. Like you understand that, like body dysmorphia, and
body dysmorphia is a silent but deadly freaking killer.
Absolutely. And it's something that I think, and how you talk about it and how you deal with it, you are allowed to not always like your body. That's unrealistic. To expect yourself to be in love with your body every day. If you figured that out, wow, amazing.
Godspeed. Godspeed. Off, queen.
But there are going to be days that you just don't like your body. And and I think that I've talked about this a lot with friends, is that it's always the things that surprise people the most that you don't like. That like truly, I've always been a very, like, we're both very tall. Like obviously will be sitting down in these episodes, so you might not know, but I'm 5'11", and you're 5'10".
Yeah. So
like we're both very tall women.
Yeah.
And
we wear heels to the club, and we're both
this has been something that like has been, I was taller than every guy in my grade.
Yep.
Until grade 10.
Yeah.
And then there was maybe 3.
Yep.
There was, when I graduated, we went by height.
Yeah.
Like, to walk up to the stage, we went by height. I was number 4.
But yes, we're both very tall.
We're both very tall. And that was always something that I found myself really insecure about, was because and God bless them, most of my friends are under 5'5".
Yeah.
Like, they're under 5, yeah. Like, and it wasn't until I realized that, you know, I can't change my height.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something that I can change about myself, and I'm always going to feel a little insecure about it, and I find it's in moments like at concerts.
Yeah.
I want to be at the front, but I'm like, nobody can see from behind me. And those are always or in pictures, like I'm always like significantly taller than all of my friends. And those are things that I still struggle with, and that it's always going to be there. But when I boil it down, I'm like, that is the smallest part about me.
Yeah.
Is my height.
Yeah.
It says nothing about me.
Yep.
It is the first thing that people notice.
Yes.
It is by far the first thing that people comment on.
Yep.
That they're like, oh my gosh, you're tall.
But it's yeah, no, I feel the same. I feel like I went through a later growth spurt with a lot of things. But I did go through a later growth spurt, and so it was a little different. Like being tall was, I had a little bit of a different experience with it. Like it wasn't, I always admired it because I always wanted to be as tall as you. That was like my...
Yeah, I got tall early.
So I was like, oh, I wish, like, because I knew you got the tall jeans and you got the boobs, and I was like, okay, if I just hold out for a little bit longer, I'll get tall and I'll get boobs. I got tall, didn't get the boobs. But like it was always something I admired about you, and so I never, like, it wasn't an insecurity for me, because like a lot of the things that I admire about myself, I was growing into it because I looked up to the people who had those qualities, and I was like, that comparison was a good thing. Like, it was like I love them. I love that they're tall. So if I am tall, I love that about myself. Yeah. Right?
Which, and even in those moments that I feel insecure about that, because I can't stop feeling insecure about being tall.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I can change it.
Yeah.
Like, you can be a little taller, you can't be shorter.
Yeah.
Like,
it's... Yeah. You can get, like,
and trust me,
my
my massage therapist would like me to stop trying to be shorter, because my hips are constantly out of place with how much that I slouch and cock a hip. But one thing that I can appreciate about my height is that I get full use out of my cupboards.
Yeah, man.
I can reach everything on the top shelf.
I love it. I go to work now, and the our little bartender, you know the one I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
She'll ask for me to grab the alcohol off the top shelf, and I go, yeah.
And I can, you know, and those are things that, like, my body allows me to do. And that's something that when you're feeling an insecurity about any sort of physical aspect of yourself, try and rework it in a way that doesn't negate your insecurity. Yeah. Don't disrespect yourself. Yeah. By trying to pretend that you don't feel that way. Because that's one thing that really frustrates me, when somebody's like, no, your body is beautiful, and like, or if people are like, oh, you should love being tall. Well, I don't all the time. Yeah. So I don't. Yeah. But I can love aspects about it. Yeah. I can say that I don't love being tall all the time. Yeah. But I can also say all the things that it does for me, and that it allows me to do.
That fully just switched something in my brain. But yeah, so no, to kind of segue, but not really segue. A big insecurity of mine has always been my nose. We know this. Georgia has a TFSA account, and a trip to Turkey planned. But truly, it's like...
Sister trip to Turkey?
Sister trip to Turkey?
Sister trip to Turkey?
Sister trip to Turkey. Oh my god, I'm so there for it. Anyway!
If you get a nose job, I'm totally getting a boob job.
Frick, yeah, no,
I want
them done. No, you can't get bigger.
Oh no, I want porn star boobies.
Okay, well, we're gonna do them both at the same time. Anyway, it's not something that I like, but I have found aspects that I can, like, feel confident in, or find where I'm confident in. And I think it boils down to a lot of, like, I have a very deviated septum, and so a lot of my...
Oh my god, it's crazy.
It's insane. Like, there's one nostril that just doesn't work.
Can we talk about how curvy your bones are?
But that is another big insecurity of mine. Like, a big insecurity of mine is that my body is completely asymmetrical. Like, very asymmetrical, down to my spine. I'll insert picture here. Georgia has crazy scoliosis and a very deviated septum. I think my spine and, like, my bone structure just, I don't know what the heck was happening.
It was probably because you shot out a mom so quick. Your bones just
to, like... They never recovered. No, truly. Man. Like, and my back is a big insecurity. Like I don't like straight on pictures because, there's a lot of reasons that I have learned to take and pose myself is because my hips are completely uneven. One is completely higher than the other, and one is like my body is curvy. Like, it is not in the way that I would love.
Not like a Kim K curvy, but like a snake curvy.
Like a snake curvy. So it's like it, and I think that's an added, like, annoyance is that it does cause me medical issues, and so I think that's maybe a little bit of where the insecurity comes from, is that it's just not functioning properly, and it causes me pain, like, physically and mentally, so it's like an added but I think that I've learned to love my nose because we have a very big French Catholic family.
Oh, truly.
Huge French Catholic family, and everybody has my nose. I look at all of my cousins, and they all have some version of the same nose, and I think, you know what? This is like, I know where
You're
this has come from. It's I'm a part of something, and I don't hate their noses. Why would I hate mine?
Yeah.
And it's not that I hate it. It's that I, like...
It's been something you've been told that you should.
Yes.
But also, I want to touch on, because you mentioned posing and taking photos. I do want to touch on this because I think that it's really, really interesting. Yeah. And something that...
I'm laughing because I'm nervous.
So, Georgia models.
I did.
Georgia,
I don't do a lot of it anymore, but
Georgia modeled. She was signed with a modeling company. A couple. She has been published in Vogue.
Twice.
I've also been published in Vogue.
Yeah!
But not pictures of me, just my work.
She's a phenomenal makeup artist, and, like, truly it's been a blessing. That's another, like, it's so amazing to be able to bring your sister on set to do your makeup, because
it's kind of fun.
Like, you can twist my face wherever, and I'm not worried about breathing in your face. Like, you'll tell me stop breathing so heavy in my face, and that's, like, okay with me. Like, but yeah, no, it's
a big reason why I struggle to do it for other people, because I'm probably way
very
too
blunt. You're very blunt.
Like, I'm also way too comfortable doing your makeup, or I'll be like, I'm not gonna poke your eyeball, stop twitching, or I'll hit you.
Yeah.
But anywho, so you model, and that has been something that I truly and let me, as someone who has been a proponent of the F the pretty girls motion, because I've never been considered one of them.
I believe you are. Continue. Sorry.
Objectively, like, I have learned to find confidence in that I'm a little bit alternative, and that, like, I don't look the way I'm covered in tattoos, I'm large and in charge, I've, like, found funky things about myself that I like, but I've never been conventionally pretty.
Yeah.
Like, I've never really fit, like, the magazine mold.
Yep.
And that's something that you have.
Which,
like, you, and
simultaneously, modeling,
yes and no.
modeling simultaneously built and destroyed my confidence.
Absolutely.
Completely. Because I wasn't always considered conventionally pretty. Growing up, I was the weird little ginger kid with the, like I was not always conventionally pretty. So when I did get into modeling at 14, I think was my first shoot, 14 or 15.
Yeah.
It was the first time in my life that somebody told me, you are conventionally pretty. And it completely switched my mindset. And I looked for, like, again, breaking down a little bit of that confidence was I looked for the physical aspects of myself that were very conventionally pretty. And I wanted to further work on those points of myself, which I didn't always find confidence in. And I didn't always, like, it was a very new feeling for somebody to say, yeah, you're like, this is going to get published in a magazine. And it was like, I never viewed myself that way. So to hear somebody else say it, it was like a little bit of a mindset shift. And I had to work on that, like, viewing myself that way, I guess, which was,
and I would also say that when you stepped into that world, there was a lot of things that, because we grew up in a small town, and differences are, I mean, when you have a class of 20 people, any sort of difference is going to stand out. Yeah. But one thing that, like, things we've both talked about, being tall. Yeah. When you're looking for, because let's be honest, it's heterosexual relationships that the height differential matters. Matters. Huge. That, and it's that heteronormative, like, women are supposed to be small and tiny and able to be protected. And when you're looking at it from that point of view, and that's the only thing that you really are comparing it to, because you don't hate your height because, like, it did cause me grief. Like, I had growing pains for years. Huge. Oh my God. You hate it because of the comparison that you're like, no guy wants to hold my hand because I'm looking down at them. And so, but when you started modeling, there was those things that you were insecure about, or they became assets.
Yes. They became, like my hair. Tall. My hair. Something that I had been made fun of, like, all through elementary school, had been something that modeling scouts had looked at and went, oh my God, that's so cool. Never dye your hair. We're gonna, like, that is such a great thing for being booked. Yeah. And it was around the time that I went through that growth spurt. And so being tall was an asset. It was, okay, well, you can do, like, this opens doors for you. You can do runway, all this kind of stuff. And it was like, okay, these things that I had looked at in a negative light were now I was being told that they were a positive, but it wasn't fully processing in my brain that they were a positive still.
Well, I mean, it was also, you were so young. Like, it's a huge, I mean, I was always really hesitant to support you modeling, because I had such I dealt with so many issues, like body image issues and things like that I never wanted you to go through, because I truly did view you as, like, just so gorgeous that I was like, there's no, like, I wouldn't allow anybody to even think of making you feel even a fraction of what I had ever felt. Truly.
And you were right. In certain aspects, it has brought me so much joy and so many experiences that I am so grateful that I got to have.
Can I make you do, like, a flip lookbook? Real quick?
No.
No. Insert hot air balloon photo here.
Sure.
Insert Vogue.
No.
Here.
No, no, like, it's brought me a world of opportunities, but it also, you were right, it did bring me a world of heartbreak. I went through huge body dysmorphia issues, and I, for a while there, was, like, severely underweight, and it was a lot of but that was viewed as that also was viewed as a good thing. So I didn't see that as an insecurity. And it was what's the next benchmark? What's the next thing I can compare myself and get down to? And it was extremely, like, it's like difficult for me to talk about now, but, like, it was a very dark point, because I'd been, for lack of better terms, skinny, because I had raging ADHD and needed to be in that, like, a million different sports. That was how
it was also
it manifested for me.
Dad's genes, his body type, they have very, very high metabolism.
Food goes through me very, very fast. Very, very fast.
Well, and it's very, like, if you look at all of our, like, dad's side of the family, the women have very athletic builds.
Yes.
Like, they're very slim and muscular, and they think like marathon runner. Like, that's what the women in dad's family look like.
Yeah. So it wasn't like I had never like viewed my body as like skinny. I had viewed it as like in that sense it was more athletic. It was that's where it was coming from. But I was in all these like sports. I played like hockey, basketball, I danced, I did volleyball, all these things at the same time as doing modeling, and they viewed that as a good thing. But they also said, okay, you're doing all this physical activity, now also eat less and go on a like diet so that you are losing more weight, and that you are that like, and I think that's a whole other topic of media propaganda, but like the heroin chic aesthetic, for lack of better terms. Like it was very much like not necessary. As much as
that perception is changing, and that there's like,
which I'm so grateful for,
which it comes with its own issues as well. Like there's always, policing people's bodies is never going to be productive.
Yeah, huge.
And it's always going to cause divides, and it's always going to cause extremes. Yeah. Whenever you put blanket statements down, there's going to be extremes.
Yes.
And there is the part of the modeling industry that being extremely thin is an expectation. Yeah. And then also there's the other side of it, that being extremely plus size is the only way to get those plus size goals. But then there's so much middle ground.
Yes. No, huge. And I think because I fit into that conventional mold, that was why they had encouraged those styles of diet, because it was okay. You conventionally
you're already almost there.
Yes. Yeah. It was like, but it was, and exactly that feeling. Like I felt always like I was almost there. Yeah. And that was what really like triggered the like body dysmorphia and the eating, like disordered eating, was I was almost there.
You're moving the goalpost.
And it was always a moving goalpost. And but like, and that's not to say that modeling was a sad time. Like I think I get a little uncomfortable talking about it because of all the
you're allowed to talk about the negative aspects just as much as you're allowed to sing its praises.
Yes.
And like I think that with in any part of your life, you are allowed to recognize the hardships. Yeah. And it doesn't take away from the joy. Yeah. Yeah. And that's something that like I would love to touch on just in general is, if you are going through something, stop undermining yourself, stop disrespecting yourself and being like, well, it's not that bad, or other people have it worse. Yeah, other people do have it worse. But there's always going to be someone who is going through something worse than you. Yep. But like I said, isn't that beautiful? Yeah. That like when I hear somebody talking about something and I'm like, oh my God, this is really what you're upset about. Yeah. Like this exact example. Oh, the poor model. Yeah. Like yeah. The poor model. She's too skinny. Yeah. No. Yeah. But no. It doesn't. But I'm like, isn't that so beautiful that my sister is so gorgeous and had so many opportunities and was able to experience all those things and is now able to talk about it and validate all of those other people in the exact same situation and in different situations, and be able to say that there are certain aspects that probably would have helped you if you were older and were able to say, no, actually, I won't be changing my diet, or I won't, if the clothes don't fit, get different clothes.
Yeah. Yeah. So the clothes were a big motivator for me because I always loved fashion. Like I was very overstimulated when things didn't match. Like my clothes, I talked with Mom about this, but things needed to be the same color palette or they needed to be the same shade. It was always like I was very, very aware of how I dressed because it was always an expression of myself when I didn't know how to verbally express myself all the time.
You're also extremely creative with clothes.
I love clothes. I love fashion, and I think it is a whole other topic that like historically it has so much significance and culturally, and there's so much actual brilliance in fashion that people don't see other than just like, oh, pretty clothes, right?
Yeah.
And so I always had a deep appreciation for how fashion operated, and so that was a big reason why I started. It was like I wanted to be in those spaces that you saw those newest styles and you got to play around with editorial work and all of that kind of stuff, and like styling was a huge. When I first started modeling, I did all of my own styling for the shoots.
Yeah.
Like Mom and I would go to the Bay and get a bunch of like clothes and then go after the shoot and return them all. Like life hack. But like that was a big it was a huge motivator. So I think that also built my confidence, and also like
I will say from the outside looking in, there's nothing that I see makes you walk a little taller than when like you are really feeling your outfit.
Yeah.
Like if you've put something together and it just is bomb, like I know that I'm like,
yeah
Georgia's gonna be on one.
yeah Georgia's gonna be on one. No, for sure.
But that's true. Confidence comes from so many different aspects and factors, and there's always something that you can take inspiration and you can take lessons and try and fail and like Lord knows some of your outfits haven't been the cute like, and there's lots that like trends.
Oh, trend following. And like trend following was a big, like when I was really heavy into trend following, like when I went through my Euphoria, like I loved Euphoria so much.
Oh my God, yeah.
And some of the outfits from that era of like my high school, like being in actual high school, trying to emulate people who were in their 30s playing high school.
Sorry, did you not have the teacher that followed you around being like going like this, being like, your straps aren't 2 fingers?
No. Like my teachers, I'm pretty sure my teachers were scared of me. Like I actually, no, I'm not joking. I have to tell you a funny story about this too. I pierced my own nipples at 16.
Yeah.
Right. I would wear I would wear no bra and a mesh t-shirt to class, or a tank top that you could clearly see them, and the office would call Mom. This was like when I was at the when I moved schools. The office would call Mom and be like, "Hey, Georgia's really not wearing appropriate clothing today. Do you mind like checking in with her?" And my mom goes, "Are you gonna tell her to change? Because I sure as hell am not." Like but that was honestly like there was no freaking way I was going to.
You know what?
Change.
At that point in your life, it was hard enough getting you to school at all. Mom was not about to pick that battle. She was like, "You're in class today. Yeah. That's all I can ask for.
Truly.
If your nipples are showing, well,
who the hell cares?
Sorry, guys."
Because you know what? Honestly, and
I think saying that that's okay. Or
no,
remotely appropriate.
Looking back at it now, it was extremely inappropriate, and I wouldn't wear the things I wore in high school now. Like,
well, and you're putting people in uncomfortable situations. There's always going to be, but it's also a learning curve.
I lived for that. I lived for, like, in that era of my life, in that phase of my life, I lived for putting people in uncomfortable situations to see how they would react. It was truly just so that I could gauge what that reaction was, and it was like research for what people's reaction to those
but also like
were and how far I could push the envelope.
What does that say about like who you were at that point? Like, what do you?
Oh, it was
like, what were you looking for?
I was looking for external validation, and I was looking for I was 100% looking for external validation. I was 100% looking for a reaction, and I was looking for attention. I really, really needed attention. I was not receiving attention in whatever aspect of my life, and it was wherever I could get it, I would get it. Now that I know that the attention that I want to receive now is not for those things. It's
also the difference between positive and negative attention.
And any attention I could get.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if it was good or bad. It was just attention. And there was no difference for me. Like, now I look at it and I'm still a little bit of an attention, for lack of better terms. But I try to garner positive attention. And, like,
Yeah.
I would rather people,
There's so many aspects about you that warrant attention that I think that was something that was frustrating for the people around you, and can apply to a lot of people, that when other people are like, why are you searching for this, or like, why are you looking for this in all the wrong places, because we can see the things that you can't. And we always, you know, it never computed to me that you could be insecure or that any of those things would affect you, because I was like, well, you're stupid talented, and you're like.
But I think I was looking for that, like, for those attentions in the wrong places, because I wasn't confident.
Yeah.
It was because I didn't see those things. Exactly what you said.
Yeah.
Like, it was this cognitive dissonance that I didn't view myself through the people who loved me's eyes.
Yeah.
I viewed them through a angry, attention-seeking 16-year-old who had no idea who she was and needed other people to tell her.
Well, and a lot of the things that you like would have gotten natural attention for, like your extreme talent and your creativity and all of those things, were things that you were heavily bullied for.
Yes.
And that you were punished for. And
I didn't want to explore it again.
And it was something that, you were persecuted for having those aspects. So it would make sense that you wouldn't gain confidence from those, because they were always something that was negative for you. And that's something that I think that we've talked about a lot, like over the last few years, and you coming into your own. And I've kind of tried to establish with you that you have to find your tribe.
Yeah.
And that, like,
huge.
I think that's a huge point in confidence as well, like personal confidence, and going back to that sense of community and all of those things. The people that you should be surrounding yourself with are the people that make you feel confident when you feel the best about yourself.
Yes.
Because
100%.
Anybody can make you feel confident when you're portraying a version that they like.
Yes. Yes.
But when you like the version that you're portraying, and you are being authentically yourself, and you're putting everything you have out into the universe, and the people around you are responding to that, and they genuinely like it, there is nothing that will build you up faster.
Hugely.
And so find your tribe. Find your people that love the things about you that you love about yourself.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to change who you are to fit in. You need to find a different group.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's something that, like, especially with, like, the creative education that you're in now.
Oh my God. Like, being in audio engineering, sound engineering, like, it is, I'm at a school full of creatives. Like, and I'm so blessed to be able to pull inspiration from how these people find confidence in their craft. Because it was something that I was persecuted for. And so it wasn't always, like, it was very hard for me to embrace. And now, at the point in my life where I'm at now, I am embracing it to the full extent. And I feel confident in those things and confident in those creative abilities, because I see it in my peers, and I love them for it. And I love them. I love collaborating with them on things, and truly it has been a mindset shift. And I wish I could hold the hands of my, like, little 4th grade talent show self and say, one day people are going to sing with you, and they're not going to be in the crowd talking about your downfall. Like, they are, people are going to be there singing with you, and they're going to be creating with you. And, like, you are going to love this one day. And that was, like, like that is the biggest blessing that I've gotten from the creative. Oh my God, I don't know why I'm crying.
Well, I do. You were bullied for fucking years. And I'm sorry, but all those like little twig ass. Rein it in. There are some very not nice girls girls and boys who catch me in a dark alleyway.
It was a really hard time.
And
I just
the only person that's allowed to be mean to you is me.
Yes, real.
That's 100% come for her.
The only person I accept those like any criticism from now, or like take this with a grain of salt, but the critiques that I value now, most of them come from you. Like, and I don't listen to the like critiques from other people, or I take them with a grain of salt because
good, you should.
Because I don't like, again, holding the little hands, I don't listen to them. Like, it sounds like a crock of crap. Like, but
well, and look at people's intentions too. When somebody is giving you a critique or telling you something that maybe hurts a little bit, ask yourself, why are they telling me this?
Yeah. Yep.
Are they telling me this because they are an active part in my life, that they see that my actions aren't aligning with who I want to be, and they're trying to help me see that?
Yeah.
Or are they just giving unsolicited advice?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or that's just not advice.
Don't listen to advice from people that you would not swap places with them. That was something that a boss of mine had said, was, why would you listen to advice from somebody that you would not swap places with? Huge. And getting through a lot of workplace confidence.
Wait, who am I supposed to take advice from then?
Go off, queen. No, but real. Like a lot of workplace conflicts that I got through was, if I was taking like criticism or just like being beat on by a boss or a superior, I think to myself in that moment, and like they're coming at it from I'm trying to help you, I'm trying to better you as a professional. I'm thinking about it like, would I swap places with you? Do I want to get to where you are the same way? No. So why would I listen to you? Why would I listen to your advice? Why would I do what you do? Because I don't want to be there. I don't want to be in your position. Yeah. I don't want to get there how you got there. That is not going to be my path.
Yeah.
And it allowed me to not internalize a lot of that rigmarole that they perpetuated within the workplace. Like,
I think it all kind of boils down to like what we talked about at the very beginning, that like personal confidence truly, at least in my opinion and kind of like what we've talked about, is that it truly comes from, do you like yourself?
Yes.
I feel like this is a topic that there are so many different areas that go into it, and so I think this is going to be a two-parter, our first two-parter. I think overall it's something that like is just you're going to learn and grow and move throughout your entire life. And confidence will ebb and flow just like anything else. And at the end of the day, you have to find what makes you confident. Exactly. What it means to you, what it looks like for you, where it comes from. And when we had talked about it earlier, but like when people say just be yourself, that's really hard to do if you don't know who you are. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask other people what brings them confidence. What do you do when you're feeling insecure? Like all of those things, it's okay and it's vulnerable, but the people around you, the people in that good tribe that you found, they're gonna help you navigate that. And if you can find a little bit of confidence here, and
we're glad.
Then we've done our job.
Woo!
But that is it for this week.
Thank you for joining us.
I hope our introductions pleased Emily. No, really, we appreciate it. And new studio. You'll be seeing us here a lot.
Yeah.
From now on, and we'll let us know what
Easter eggs you want us to put in.
what you think we should decorate it with.
How we should make a personality.
And also let us know, what do you think confidence is?
Yeah, what brings you confidence?
Yeah. How do you define it?
Yep.
How do you define it in yourself and in other people?
Yep.
And oh wait, I'm gonna do the magic wand thing. Ready? These are all our socials. Like in a Disney.
Yeah.
These are all our socials right here. Magic editing.
Woo! Go find us there. You'll get the behind the scenes. You can see us build
Hot and Dangerous podcast on all of the
ats.
Shout out, we have all 3 episodes on Spotify.
Yeah.
So
if don't watch us and drive, go listen to us and drive.
Exactly.
But yeah.
And
but that's her. That's episode 4.
Good job. Excellent work.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for getting me here. Thank you for doing another week. And thank you for being here and getting here for another week.
Yeah. Let's go. Well, I was going to say, let's go have a tea. But it's like midnight. So
yeah,
we're going to...
Bedtime.
But
thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Stay hot and dangerous.
Stay hot and dangerous.
If I could wink, I'd be winking.
Cue the outro, future Georgia. Hot and dangerous. If you're one of us, then roll with us. 'Cause we make our hipsters fall in love. Get the hot pants on and off.